So what exactly can we do with strings in Python? One powerful feature is that we can assess each individual character using something called indexing. And if we want a part of the string, we can use something called slicing to grab a sequence of characters. Let's break down how this works. First, we look at indexing. Indexing is a basic idea used in many areas of programming, not just with strings. You'll find it used with lists, tuples, and other data types too. With indexing, you can grab just one character from a string at a time. Now let's use a simple example. We'll be giving, let's take a variable word and assign it hello. Now we'll make a variable named word and assign it the value hello. If we count the letters in hello, there are 5 characters. To count them in Python, we use the built-in len function. We will be giving len and then we'll give word. So, writing len in the parenthesis word will return 5, showing the number of characters. Sure, with a short word like hello, that's very easy to count manually. But imagine if you had a sequence or a paragraph with more than 300 characters. It would take too long to count by hand. So len function is the faster way to get the total length. Now let's say we want to get just the first letter from the string. How would you do that? The key thing to remember is indexing always starts at 0 in Python. In the word hello, the first character H is found at index 0. Let me show you. See, in the word hello, the first character H is found at index 0, as you can see. We count up from there, so E is at index 1, the two L's characters are at index 2 and 3, and finally the O is at index 4. So how do we get the letter O from this string? First, we write the name of the variable we are indexing, which is word. Then immediately after the variable, we use the square brackets. Now we write the index as 4 inside the brackets. So let's give 4. Now when we run the code, Python returns us the letter O. That's it. Nice and simple. Now let's make a new string and store it in a variable named sentence. Now let's create a new string and assign it to a variable named sentence. We'll set sentence to is equal to I like Python. So sentence is equal to I like Python. First, we'll need to count how many characters are in the string. We can do that using the len function again. So now let's run it and let's use len and sentence. If we run this, we'll see the string I like Python contains 13 characters. That's because every space in the string also counts as a character too. To get the letter P, we'll use sentence. Similar to what we did earlier, we'll give the name of the variable sentence and then we'll give 7. So it returns P. To get the letter P, we'll use sentence and in square brackets give the index 7. Since P is at the 8th position, it gives the index. We'll have to give the index 7. Now when we run it, Python returns P just as expected. But just remember, even spaces count as characters in a string. Keep that in mind. It makes string indexing more predictable. There's another method of indexing called negative indexing. Don't worry, it simply means counting characters from the end of the string towards the beginning. Let's take our earlier string hello as an example. With negative indexing, the last character O is at index minus 1. The two L characters are at positions minus 2 and minus 3. E is at minus 4 and H is at minus 5. But the way we access these characters stays exactly the same. First, we write the name of the string variable we want to index. Now, for example, let's use word, which holds hello. And if we want to obtain the letter O again, we can pass into square brackets minus 1. When we run it, it outputs O. To get the first letter H, we can use word minus 5. Word, and we pass minus 5. We run the code and we see H is returned as expected. So, to access any character, we just type the string variable name and then add the square brackets right after it. If you index from the start position, then it always begins at 0 and increase by 1 for each character. Alternatively, you can index from the end of the string. This is called as negative indexing, where the last character is minus 1 and it counts backward from there. Now, there are a few more important things to know about indexing, which we'll look at next. There are also a few important points to remember when working with string indexing. If you try to access an index that's not available in the string, you'll get an error. For instance, the string hello stored in the variable word goes from the index 0 to 4, as you can see here. But there's no character at index 5. So, if we write word, and if we could give in the square brackets, if we give 5, see, we get an index error, which is string index out of range. Keep in mind, when we are trying to access a non-existent index, it will always result in an error. The same applies to negative indexing also. Now, if we try to give, let's suppose word minus 6, see, it won't work because hello only goes back to minus 5. There is no minus 6 index. Now, this also leads to an index error, indicating that the string index is out of range. Another key point that is that the value inside the square brackets must always be an integer. We cannot use any float or a decimal value or any other data type because it will cause a type error. Now, for example, if you write, now let's say if I write word and I give 3.0 and if I try to run it, see, that will trigger a type error saying string indices must be integers. So always make sure to use whole numbers only when indexing strings. And that's how you can access single characters from a string using indexing. In the next part, we'll explore how to extract a range of characters from a string, a concept which is also called as string slicing. Now, let's look at some more examples of string indexing. So, if I have the string Python, the first character P is at the index 0 and Y is at the index 1 and so on. Now let's look at this. We have a variable text which has Python. Now we are printing. As you can see, text 0 gives us P and text 5 gives us the last letter N. Second, let's look at an example of negative indexing. In negative indexing, minus 1 refers to the last character, minus 2 is second from the end, and so on. So text -1 returns n as seen in the example here, and text -6 goes all the way back, which is the first character in our string, which is p. Next, let's look an example of index out of range error. Since our string has only 6 characters, index 10 is out of range. Running this will throw an index error telling you the index is out of range. As you can see in the example here, it's giving us an error. Next, let's look at type error with float index. String indexes must be whole numbers, that is integers. You cannot use a decimal or a float as an index, because as you see here, it has resulted in a type error because Python expects an integer inside the square brackets, not a float. So always use whole numbers when you are doing indexing. Next is using len with indexing. If you're unsure about the length of the string, you can use the built-in len function. It returns the total number of characters in the string. Now see here, as we have done, len text gives us 6 and text length -1 gives us the last character n. This is useful when you're working with strings of variable length. So I hope string indexing is clear to you.